Hi, y'all. Hi, this is Dr. Traci Harrell, and welcome to another episode of Better Together and Living Powerfully. So, yes, it is always better, right, when we work together, when you're focusing on creating an outcome that is lasting. So today we're going to be talking about three to four of my favorite words. The three favorite words we're going to talk about is legacy, leadership, and community. My fourth word that I like to throw in there is the idea of consistency, right? The concept of legacy and really making a difference in community, truly showing up, requires this concept of consistency as well. So today, again, hopefully we'll have some guests joining us. I do things a little impromptu when I invite busy people to join. So I think we're going to have the director of ADEFUA, cultural, they do work in community, cultural workshop, but she's building an African cultural arts center. We've talked a little bit about it before. I've had her on before, but Afua Kouyate with ADEFUA, I believe, is going to join us for the second half of today's live show. In addition, I think, oh, Carol has joined. Yay. So we're going to bring Carol on. So I invited Carol R. Williams to join us because she's first of all, she's someone that I went to Africa with. So we bonded over drama, trauma, and a wonderful experience. But she's also the president of the board for ADEFUA, right? So there's a number of connections. And so I think she said Carol is joined. Let me know whenever she's ready. You can pop her on. It's all good. Okay. And if she's not ready, let me tell you guys a little bit more. So just bring her on whenever she's ready. I can't see Carol. You can turn that camera on. Okay. So he's gonna. It's great to have a producer to figure technology things out. And I literally just invited Carol minutes ago. So this is not her not being on her game. This is me saying, ooh, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we invited Carol, because she has been working in community also for a very long time. She's an artist, a real artist. I consider myself kind of an artist. She's a real artist. She actually, oh, there she is. Hi, Miss Carol. Isn't she gorgeous? Hi, how are you? Okay, should we wait? Okay, your sound didn't show up. Say something. Okay, I'm gonna let our producer get it together. I think we'll take you off until we can get your sound going, because I can't hear you. Can't hear you. We're live. We'll figure it out. Say something else. You're moving. Say something else. Okay. So again, I invited her last minute. So while she's figuring it out, producer, help her out. Talk to her. What I'm going to talk to you guys about is, again, and I've had some experiences. I have to just be perfectly honest. I've had some experiences over the last probably 5 months that have been like medical in nature. Carol's going to work it out. Whenever she gets her sound going, they're going to figure it out. I'm going to let my producer handle that, and I'm going to talk to you guys. So I'm doing a little disclosure. I've had some medical, I'll call it, we call them situations. I've had some situations that were medical in nature that could potentially take somebody out, right? And so I've still shown up as much as I possibly could right here, because I feel like this is part of my contribution to community. People have said to me, you know what, I really appreciate you showing up. And it's like, you know what? If I can, I will. That's all I can say. If I can, I will. There's some other things I have not done that I need to do that I'm feeling so much better physically that I will be able to tap back into, that I will be able to end well. When some shenanigans goes down, all you can do is do what you can do to maintain and then step back in to end well, right? And I know I'm talking to somebody, right? There's so many things that can happen that we can do. And so again, showing up the best you can is all you can do. I was talking to my sister today who, I call her my sister mama, like my real sister, but she showed up for me so many times. I should make today a confessional. She showed up for me so many times in a way that was maternal, right? So growing up, we didn't have a whole lot of money, but when you're happy, money is just nice to have, if that makes sense. All right. You ever been poor and you were happy and poor and you didn't even know that you didn't even know that it was a problem? That was kind of how I would describe my childhood, right? We weren't the poorest in the neighborhood for sure, but we definitely, I know what government cheese tastes like, right? If that makes sense, if you know what I'm saying, right? So I'm that person who was blessed to get, straight A's through school and barely tried. So my concept of consistency, I didn't really have to be consistent. Like I never studied, but I showed up in class. I was consistent. I was on the front row. I was taking it in. I didn't have to study because you said it. I got it. Let's move on, right? So I have to admit, even the consistency factor, I say that word because I'm still practicing it in a number of different ways. So my wellness, I've lost like 30, 40 pounds, which really feels great. And like I said, I had some medical things I've been dealing with, and I feel like I'm on I don't know if you call it the downhill or the uphill, probably the downhill, I guess. If uphill is hard, then maybe I'm on the good side of that. I hope that is my prayer. But wherever I'm at, I'm going to take advantage of the day. I'm going to take advantage of the moment. I'm going to take advantage of the time, and I'm going to show up here for you all and assume that I'm going to give you everything I got. Like I'm going to put it out there into the universe. So back to those 3 words, legacy, community, right? Let's focus on those 2. The concept of legacy and community, like leaving something. There are people in your lives, I know, young people, old people, people that you know, work with, etc., leaving something for others, making things better. That concept of leadership, hopefully, is about making things better for you and those around you. Hopefully, that's something that we can all aspire to. None of us are experts in all the things, but there's things that you do better than others. How are you passing that on? All right, so when you think about legacy and leadership, later on in the show, I think at the 6:30 time frame, we're bringing on Afua Kouyate, who is the executive director for ADEFUA. They've been in community for 40 years, 4 decades. That's lifetimes, plural, right? In community, consistently showing up, doing what she loves, right? Growing in her own journey as well, but showing up for community, helping to make each of us better. If you choose to tap into that type of community, right? And I know I'm blessed for it. Y'all see I'm wearing some African looking things. I have a little situation with my laptop, so bear with me. But you can see I'm somewhat, got my colors on. I left Africa and brought it with me. I'm like, oh no, I'm a different woman because of that experience, for sure. So when we think about leadership, legacy, right, and community, being able to bring those things back and showing up in excellence is a beautiful thing. I'll ask my producer to continue to keep me up to date if we have a guest coming. And if not, again, I was already prepared. Y'all know I can just talk. God drops it in and I put it out. That's all you can do. So I was talking to, have several mentors in community and mentees in community and people that I support and organizations that I try to support as consistently as possible. And I have a couple that I need to lean back into, right? And so, one of the things is when something doesn't go as you planned, it's important to pause. We talked about that throughout this whole PQ process. Pause, right? Regroup. And then, as you're led, lean back in and offer the next step in whatever that process is. If you believe you're on the right path, this is a never give up kind of a statement for today, whatever you're working on in life. Don't give up, right? If you know it's positive and it's going to help people and they're not maybe ready, because people have to be ready to receive as well. Right. I mean, I had a group of people telling me that what I was doing was too much. And I'm like, yikes, it wasn't even a fraction of what I had to deliver. Right. And if what I'm delivering already is too much, then yeah, you're right. I need to roll back and figure out the right, drips, the best way to engage. And each group is different and each person is different. And so I really like working with leaders who are ready to lean all in. And so I've been grateful for everyone that I've been able to touch and people that have touched me. Like, this is a shared experience for sure. And so, if we think about legacy, when my days are done, don't show this video. Okay, you can show it. I look, my hair is decent today. When my days are done, what I hope is that people remember me as someone who tried to show up to leave a legacy. I hope part of my legacy is that one right there was committed to community. Like she showed up, right? She didn't care. She really didn't care. Like I would come here. You've seen me come in with hair looking raggedy, like I'm just going to show up doing the best I can. Today's not too bad. And I want to have fun with it too, right? Like this really has to be a space and a place where we show up and we know that we're going to all do some things that are going to help others. So whatever that thing is for you, recommit to that. So I mentioned that I had some medical issues, some medical situations that have slowed me down in some work. Oh, Carol's back. Okay, let's see. I think maybe Carol's back. Just jump on in, Carol, producer, make it happen. We'll figure it out. This is what live is all about. So we'll see. So, ooh, don't you look lovely? Ooh, you're all stable and everything. Ooh, I gotta lean back. How are you?
I'm doing really good. How are you doing? It's nice to see you.
Thank you. You look amazing.
Thank you.
So you're
How do you?
Thank you.
It's been a while. Yeah.
So Carol R. Williams, under your name, it says founder of BIPOC Stack. Tell us about your organization. We're going to talk about Afua's organization later, but let's talk about you real quick. BIPOC Stack founder. What is BIPOC Stack?
So BIPOC Stack stands for, it's an acronym for BIPOC Sustainable Tiny Art House Community. And it is actually my nonprofit that I founded in 2021, right after COVID. And we're working to develop and do things for BIPOC artists around equity in housing and also business development. So we work with artists, hire them as consultants. We also hire other types of consultants. There's 4 positions here. So yeah.
Okay. I love it. So do me a favor. I know you probably have a link to your website. If you put it in the private chat,
okay,
or in the comments, my producer might be able to pull it up and show some of your art, maybe, because you're an artist. Like you.
Yes, I am.
Is it in the BIPOC Stack website, or do you have an artist?
So I have 2 websites. I'm also the owner of a for-profit called K-Love for Art. And I've been
the number 4? K-Love, the number 4 art?
Yep, the number 4. Here I have both websites.
in the comments as well. If you put it in the comments, when anybody watches this back, they'll be able to see it. So that's probably a good place to put it as well. He'll probably put it in here as a part of the
there's one
commentary. So
commentary.
So this is Better Together and Living Powerfully. And again, Better Together, this concept is it's an empowerment series. So I know the work that you do. I've seen some of your art and I was really impressed. Right. But I also know that you've worked with other people in community and you realize how powerful it is. And you provide your services, right, as a volunteer to organizations like Afua, to ADEFUA, like you're president of her board. Yes. So one of the things, as you pulling up your website, one of the things that we wanted to, and I'll let him do this, and we'll be talking and he'll pull it up whenever he's ready. And then when it comes up, we'll talk it out and walk it out. So good job. Okay. You put that in the private chat or in the comments?
Oh, I put it in the private chat.
That's cool. You want to into the comments that then people will be able to see it as well. So she says there's 2 websites, BIPOC Stack and then K-Love for Arts. Love it. So as you're doing that, and again, our producer will pull up whatever he can pull up, and it'll, we'll talk about it. I'm going to see if I can stay focused.
It says I have to join YouTube to get into the live chat.
No. Just copy it into the comments. So just copy what you see. You see 2 tabs in StreamYard. He'll do it. We got a producer for that. We're good. Let's stay focused. You and I got this. Okay. We have a wonderful producer. His name is Daniel. Daniel, will you copy this from private chat into the comments for people? Thank you. Okay. So talk a little bit more, and then we'll come back to Afua. I think she's going to join in after the break. So talk a little bit about your K-Love for Art. What do you focus on, and what's your goal or purpose?
Yeah, with K-Love for Art, it's also a similar focus, except it's for all artists. I basically am an artist. I'm a painter, traditionally trained, and have been an artist in Seattle for, almost 30 years now. And so have really worked with the Black galleries and also have won numerous awards. And I really love being an artist because another part of my background is my master's degree is in leadership development and business development. And so I utilize both of those skills in a way that I'm kind of like a mentor coach to a lot of artists. I've given a lot of artists in Seattle their first solo exhibition. Wow. I've also worked with numerous organizations because another part of my background is that I work in the sustainability field. And so I work really diligently on climate justice, which, is a challenge these days just because of the nature of the country. But I couple my art with imagery and identity around being African American and the intersection between what's happening in our communities around climate justice. So like water quality, air quality, sound quality, energy, all of that stuff. And also land stewardship, because I grew up here in the Pacific Northwest. So I really love trees and animals and all that other good stuff. So that's basically what K-Love for Art is. I sell goods. I have gear, all kinds of stuff, art. And if you want to see my art, you can see it at the Seattle Convention Center.
Where's it at? Say that again?
In the brand new building at the Seattle Convention Center. And I've also got works with traveling art in commission at the City of Seattle Office of Arts and Culture. I have work in Tacoma. I have a mural in Hillman City right down the street from where you're doing your live show.
Wow.
We worked on that mural with me and Devin Midori Hill. We worked in partnership one summer with, it was about 8 young teenagers to do that mural. That was really fun. I have murals in Olympia. I also have a commission in Olympia at the Evergreen State College. You can see my work there. I work all over the state. Let's just put it like that. I've been doing art for a long time.
I was going to say, which is what's really exciting. I think for you to, for people to see, and I don't know if our producer's here, I don't see any other comments in the chat, but I can't copy into the comments either. So I'm hoping he's going to figure it all out and we can just sit here and keep talking, and he's going to pull something up at some point in your either website. We'll start with K Left for Arts, and then we'll go to, is that the one you want us to show?
Oh, I put both of them in there.
I know. Did you want us to show something in either one? Is there any place
you can show that my artwork is in K Love for Art.
Okay. So again, Daniel, whenever you're ready, just let us know, comment, whatever. I'm not seeing anything, so we'll keep it moving. And then Afua's website, the one that we want to direct people to.
Do you want me to put that in the chat too?
If you could, then you'll have that one ready as well. I also sent an email, Daniel. Hopefully you have that with some details about the upcoming event on May 3rd, which we will wait to talk about when Afua gets here. So what I want to hear you talk about a little bit, is leadership. So you have this nonprofit organization, BIPOC Stack. You have your for-profit, which is K Left for Art. And again, you focus on sustainability. You should have a master's in leadership development. Talk about leadership, like why, in essence, we're all leaders, right? And the responsibility that comes with leading and leaving a legacy for the next generation. Like, I feel like I wake up every day saying, what would God have me to do, right? To help someone else out. So tell me a little bit about leadership. Like, why is it so important? Like, you show up, look at your smile. Like, you're happy to do it. Like, you contribute, but you want to help others. So talk about the importance of leadership, and especially when it comes to each of us being leaders and leaving and doing as much as you can. Like, you can't do everything. All you can do is what you can do, and praise God for that, right? Like, I'm part of some other organizations where I realized the other day, like, there's some things that we didn't do, but we did what we could do, period. Like, do what you can do and keep it moving. So talk about leadership and legacy.
Yeah, leadership and legacy, it's a really big topic. And I think right now it is of the utmost importance. How I even got into this particular topic and genre of field. When I was really young, I worked for this organization called Center for Ethical Leadership, and I was the coordinator for a Young Leaders of Promise program. And it was the first time that anybody really talked to me about leadership. And I was already an adult, and I'd seen leadership in my community because of my mother. She was a missionary and she did a lot of community work. She fed people, housed people. She did a lot of work for a very long time in Tacoma. And so I watched her, but I didn't really understand that was what a leader was, right? And so when I got this job, I became trained as a train the trainer for leadership development. And one of the key pieces of their leadership model is virtue. And there are all these different pieces to leadership that we talk about, but we never talk about virtue, right? And so, I would get into conversations and my young people, because I worked with young high school students, and they would say, well, Hitler was a leader. And I was like, yeah, but did he have virtue? Right. And then that opens up a whole new dynamic, because you can be a leader and not have any virtue. Right. You can lead people in the wrong direction and not have, because you don't have any virtue. And so what does that mean? It means that you're committed to the common good. You're built on a belief that community matters, right? And so that was my very first experience with the concept of leadership. And then probably 8 years later, I ended up, No, it wasn't that, but it was probably a couple of years later, because I did go right into a master's degree. And I got my master's degree, and I decided I was going to learn more, because I was so fascinated by this concept of leadership. And so I got my master's degree in leadership and business development, and was able to work with a lot of young people over the years and have these deep dive conversations around, well, what does it really mean, right? And so I've honed it a lot over the years, and that's kind of how my businesses came about, because existing in marginalized communities, working in marginalized communities alongside marginalized folks, being a marginalized person, experiencing a lot of the systems and frameworks that were not designed for me in my community, really helped me to really understand where do I want to lead at, right? And for me, it comes to legacy. It comes back to, well, why are you smiling all the time? Because I'm passionate about my legacy, right? And and I'm not perfect. I
like to say we all got issues, but
we all got issues,
But the good outweighs the bad, I hope.
Yeah. And so I was really blessed, and I'm really grateful because I learned that so early on. And I always said that I wish it was something we taught kids starting in Head Start, kindergarten, first grade, all the way up through college, because it is such an imperative concept for everybody to understand, because what's wrapped up in it is when it's based on common good, it's wrapped up in citizenship, it's wrapped up in voting, it's wrapped up in like all these things like community giving and sharing, and BIPOC Stack is based on the concept that everybody should be able to live in a house that's affordable, right? Everybody should be able to live where they work if they want to, right? So that you don't have to commute and waste gas and have a negative effect on the environment. So a lot of my concepts have been honed over time because of my experience around engaging with the topic of leadership and legacy for such a long time.
Do y'all see why I love this one right here? Do y'all see why I love this one? So we have to take a break in 1 minute, but I wanted to just do a quick transition. So you mentioned the word virtue, and we often talk about values here. And what I love about this is, we talk about positive things. Like I don't waste any energy talking about negative people or negative things. I don't, because again, then you're giving them.
Yeah, you don't. I know.
I don't. Even when shenanigans are off, I'm like, well, I get on people's nerves sometimes trying to be positive, right? Trying to be. It's like my natural instinct most times. And so you mentioned the word virtue, and I put some detail here in the chat. I know we have to take a break, but I'm going to ask everyone to think about virtue, because virtue in its true meaning refers to moral excellence and the cultivation of good habits that lead to living a life of integrity and high moral standards. I put some more in here, right, about some of the traits, but just think about the words cultivation of good habits, right, that are going to lead to a life really where you're living powerfully or where you're helping others to do the same. So we're going to come right back after this break, and hopefully Afua will join us. But we're going to be talking about virtue. We're going to be talking about leadership. We're going to be talking about legacy, and hopefully helping you on your journey as we continue to live powerfully. We'll be right back.
Your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
If you or a family member are 55 or over and need nursing home level care, but want to keep living where you are, check out Providence Elder Place PACE. This program offers healthcare, housing, transportation, and recreational activities. There are no copays or deductibles, and it's covered through Medicare and Medicaid. Providence Elder Place PACE works to keep you healthy and in your home. Call 206-320-5325 or visit providence.org Elder Place. Providence.org Elder Place.
Hey y'all, it's Traffic Jam with Kareem.
Thursday at 4 p.m.
Hey, Traffic Jam. Rainier Avenue Radio. Download the app so you don't miss out what's popping, what's cracking, what's shining. It's your boy, Cream the Dream, on another beautiful week on here on Traffic Jam in Seattle. I hope you guys doing what you're supposed to do, being you're supposed to be. I got a good show for y'all. A lot to talk about. You know, Kareem the Dream, keep up with everything.
Get your entertainment news with Kareem on the Traffic Jam, Thursday at 4 p.m.
Women are not an homogenous group.
We face discrimination differently depending on factors such as ethnicity, age, socioeconomic status, and more.
Rainier Avenue Radio is proud to amplify women's voices.
They are the experts of their own lives, initiating conversations within their community about challenges they face, the solutions they're working on, and the opportunities they see.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 for Women's Voices on Air. We know our challenges. We are the experts of our lives.
We are master multitaskers, prioritizing our family, friends, and our faith above our own needs.
Our needs and voices are too often overlooked.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. for Women's Voices on Air.
We tell our stories in our own way.
Hey, Seattle, here are some storage tips to love food, stop waste. Onions make potatoes sprout faster. Keep onions away from potatoes. Ripe bananas give off a gas that makes the fruit around them ripen faster. Store bananas away from other fruits. 40% of food in the U.S. goes uneaten. Save money, save food, save the planet. Visit Seattle Public Utilities for more tips.
I'm Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not cooking up a batch of my famous wood-flavored chicken, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Went over a friend's house to eat, and the food just ain't no good.
Hello. This is Dr. Traci Harrell, and you're watching Better Together and Living Powerfully. And today we have a guest, at least one. There may be another person joining us, Miss Carol R. Williams, and she's with BIPOC Stack. She's the founder of BIPOC Stack, but she also is an artist extraordinaire. And today we've been talking about legacy, leadership. And she mentioned the word, Lord, she brought up the word virtue. So not just leading, right, down the wrong path. We're talking about leading and being focused on moral excellence. Like, no one's perfect. We all got issues. Again, let's just be clear. We all got issues. People can look at both of us and be like, right? So we're not saying that we're morally perfect. No, we're saying we have a heart to serve, right? We're saying we want to cultivate good for community, and we both believe in the importance of leadership and cultivating good habits. So talk a little bit more about living a life of consistency. That's another word we like to use. Leadership, legacy, consistency. Which word would you like to talk about? Any of those and all of those are aligned with this conversation.
Any and all.
Any and all.
Just a side note, I did put the 4V model in the chat. So if people want to look that model up, and you mentioned values. Yes, values is on there. Vision is on there. So I like to describe it like this, that we're all human. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But the key to leadership is to get up and keep going again, right? Like, because it's not easy. It's not easy. And people come at you, right? Like you said, you don't deal with any negative energy. Negative energy will come always, right? And systems will change, right? Things come up, things go down. Things come up, things go down. And the only constant in the universe is change. And so once you really understand that the only constant in the universe is change, it's easier to be able to be consistent, because leadership to me is based on what do you value? What is at the center of your model, right? And so for me, a lot of what's at the center of my model right now, especially currently, because I think it can also change, but there's also some core tenets that I've had for a really long time. And one of those is just believing that equality matters, and that having a sense of understanding that I'm no better than the next person, and that it doesn't matter how many degrees you have. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You should be able to eat. You should be able to live in a home. You should be able to like go to work and make I don't like the word living wage. I like the word thriving wage, and support your family, right? And sometimes my model or my image of what that looks like for me may look different than what it looks like for you. And so having empathy around the fact that just because maybe you're Christian and you have 2 kids and you're married, and maybe I'm a single mom and I have 1 child and I'm not married, doesn't make you better than me. And it doesn't make me better than you. And so coming to the table with those understandings, I think, is really key to equity. And also listening to people in terms of what do people want to see happen in their lives, right? Because it's hard to be a mentor or coach if you're not able to listen to what the needs of other people are. And so for me, those are some really key tenets, and operating really in a positive, and I know that the word positive has been way overused. But to me, positivity has more to do with a sense of understanding that there is a higher power, and that higher power to me is God. And no matter what happens on a daily basis, like I said, change is the true constant, right? That if you're operating in a positive, future forward focus, it's easier to handle anything that comes at you, right? And so
it's true.
Yeah, right. And so I think as a leader and as working with people who are striving to be leaders, those are some of the things that I like to talk about, is like, how do you keep yourself sane, right? Stretch, I walk, I eat well, I try to take care of my mental state, because that's not always good, right? Like sometimes I have challenges with that, but be conscious of that and doing like a list. Like, what are the things I need to work on today? What are the things I need to work on in 5 years? What are my goals in 10 years? So all of that is part of it. And
love it. I love it.
Yeah. I think that answers your question, right?
in a number of different ways. I was taking notes in our private chat here, so you can see the things. I'm like, yep. So it's interesting because, this clearly was not planned. I just know I've had enough conversations with Carol where I could just drop some words. Let's talk about legacy and leadership. And I knew we'd have a great conversation because I it's almost like you can see her heart, right? Like, there's things happening in the world, and we don't have to talk about the negative things in the world. We're going to talk about the positive things. We're going to talk about how we can show up to help others. So it's 6:37. I'm not sure if Afua is going to join us. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about her upcoming event. And again, I'm not sure if my producer, well, I guess he must be here somewhere. So I'm not sure if he is going to be able to share his screen, so I might be the one to do so. So if I kick myself off the show, just keep talking. I'll get back on it. We'll see what happens. Let's see. It says share my screen, so I'm going to see if I can do that. I'm going to pull this up. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, am I sharing my screen right now?
I don't see. I just see you. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Oh, is it showing up in the show?
It's showing up in the show.
Yay! So, do I need to change anything, or should I just keep talking?
Keep talking.
Okay. So, yay. So, what you see across the top, so this is the ADEFUA's Cultural Education Workshop, and it's ADEFUA, ADEFUA Center.org. So, hopefully, my producer can type that in here, ADEFUACenter.org. And, she's been working in community for 40 years. So it's ADEFUA, the Cultural Education Workshop. Art is how we decorate space. Music is how we decorate time. Is that a great quote?
Yes.
Scroll down, because what I loved about this is they're celebrating 40 years. Can you see the screen change?
Yep.
Okay. They're celebrating 40 years in community.
And of mostly free services.
Exactly. Who's been providing, and if you think about it, for families, for literally generations, you know, of families in community where, you know, it's been an exciting journey. And if I can get this lined up perfectly. Okay. So what this is, so we're going to have on May 3rd, we're going to have a ADEFUA board opportunity. What is it called? Board opportunity workshop?
Yeah.
Or there's another word there.
It's not a workshop. It's a recruitment event.
So board opportunity something. Oh, yeah. So it's a board opportunity engagement opportunity, right? For you to learn more about the different boards. So they are run. ADEFUA as an organization is run by a board. She has a number of different community programs. This is some of them. Like you said, African Arts for All to See. They have an annual Odunde Festival. She does various programs with youth and family empowerment. Now she's leading the Rainier Valley Creative District. She's building the African Cultural Arts Center. So that's some of the work that's happening. And there's all kind of detail on this website that talks about the programs, like what's happening. You know, this youth program is a rites of passage program. It's a girl thing, right? But she also works with elders as well, right? So to have all the elements of this intergenerational experience is very exciting for me, right? And so I think the idea of coming into this organization, joining us on May 3rd, and again, there's more detail here in a second, but being able to really understand, here's a whole year's worth of activities that they have planned for 2025. You know, you can see the dates, all this stuff is online. But the next thing is right here. It's May 3rd. It's the ADEFUA Board Opportunity Day. It's at the Rainier Arts Center. It's going to be from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and it is a community event.
It is a community event. And we are highly encouraging folks that, you know, if you've never done civic engagement or, you know, you haven't had time to get involved in your community, now is the time. Now is the time. We know that there are targets on African and African American communities currently. And so we need you to join the board. You have a skill set, we can use it.
Yes.
And this organization has been doing the work for a very long time. And traditionally, African American organizations and agencies do not get a lot of support. And unfortunately, you know, that plays out in a lot of ways because our communities are working and our communities have busy schedules and they're doing a lot of stuff, right? And so when an ask goes out to have somebody come join the board, it's a lot more challenging for organizations of color to build their boards out. And so we're at a time now where we have some great openings and opportunities for folks to join the board. And we're really excited about this year coming ahead because we're in a capital campaign and we're going to be building the African Cultural Center, which is music, dance, a really amazing space. It's going to have artists, studios, and it's going to be designed in the African motif, which is also really exciting. And it's in the Rainier Valley, so
I love it.
Right here, yeah.
I love it. So
come join us, help us do the work.
Come join us and help us do the work. So I just pulled up the Eventbrite, and I was trying to share it. I'm hoping my producer is going to help us pull that back up. So it's in the show. When I click on it, I'm not seeing it, so I'm gonna have him see if he can do that for us, as well as put the link to the Eventbrite.
I don't see it on my screen.
Yeah, I'm hoping our wonderful, awesome, handsome, I'll throw that in there, handsome producer will take this link and I think he's doing it. See, all I have to do is say handsome, and then we're like, there you go. So excellent. So that particular link, are you showing my screen or is that from you? Let's see. So that's you, right? So can you go ahead and scroll down? Can't tell. Okay. So what you're going to see in the Eventbrite is and I just put the Eventbrite link here in the chat. So what you're going to see, and again, I'm not sure if my screen is showing or what, but it's Board Exploration Opportunity Day. Again, it's May 3rd. It's this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. Doors will open at 12:30. The address for the Rainier Arts Center is 3515 South Alaska Street in Seattle. And what I love about this is a full, itinerary laid out. But this is what it says here in the Eventbrite. It says you're invited to a rare opportunity to lead, build, and celebrate community. It says, are you passionate about community? Are you passionate about culture and legacy? Do you feel called to serve with a purpose, to uplift our youth, to co-create spaces where African and African-American heritage thrives? Then join us for ADEFUA's Board Opportunity Exploration Day. It's going to be a dynamic gathering for visionaries, for doers, for dreamers, for change makers looking to make a real impact in the heart of Seattle. I'm going to go ahead down because it also says, why attend? So not only will you discover the vision of ADEFUA, the Cultural Education Workshop, this 40-year movement that's rooted in African culture and pride, but you're also going to hear about the ACAC, the African Culture Arts Center, a permanent space for celebration, education, and connection. But then there's 4 ways to serve. So if you wanted to think about, why me and what's in it for me, connect with a mission-driven organization, choose a path of service that aligns with your strength, gain valuable leadership experience. Maybe you've never led before, but you have some things you love to do, right? And then what I love about this is she says, 3 to 5 hours per month is all she's asking for you to make a lifetime of impact. So again, there's 4 pathways for you to co-create change. There's a board of directors, which is focused on fundraising and governance. There's an African Culture Arts Center Community Advisory Board, which is where the advisors and visionaries will support the organization. There's the Rainier Valley Creative District, and then there's Friends of ADEFUA, Event Logistics Committee. So that's kind of the people that help with events and community building. So let me see, I'll stop sharing. I think that was everything.
Can I also add to that a little bit?
Please.
I want to jump off the part where you said if you've never led before, because we were talking about leadership earlier.
Right.
I think sometimes some people are afraid to lead, right? Especially young people. But that's how you get experience.
Yes.
Jump in, get your feet wet, come join us.
Get your feet wet. We do love young people. So, and then you'll discover people talk about culture. We talk about the African culture, but to see it in real life and people that are from Africa, that have been to Africa for decades, that go and come back and like being in the space, like I really feel like I'm a even more evolved creature, right? Just because of being around you all. Seriously, like being around Afua and being in a space, it's very exciting. So for young people, you're going to definitely be in a space where you will be able to make a difference, be a part of change, build something that will last, for generations to come. That's kind of what this, Opportunity Day is all about. So thank you for mentioning young people.
We're really open to like mentoring and coaching. And so, if you come in and there's something you want to learn or something you want to focus on that helps grow your skill set, this is the place. Come join us. We want to help you learn what your leadership skills are and where you can like grow and flex and become a part of this community. Yes.
I love it. And seniors, like we need you too. Like we need
we need both.
We need the whole gambit. We need everything in between. So I could not be more excited to be a part of the African Culture Arts Center, to be, helping to, fundraise for the organization. So there's also a link when you go to the Eventbrite. We kind of set it up so that if you're like, hey, I can't come on Saturday, May 3rd, but I love the idea of supporting the organization. So again, the link is here. Daniel, if you can copy that link, join us and put it into the comments. So whenever anybody watches this video of us on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever it might be, they can go here and they can register. So we are looking for people to register. But the exciting part is if you can't join us on Saturday, May 3rd, which again, that's going to be the most engaging opportunity, there's also a way for you to register to say, hey, heard about this opportunity and I want to learn more. Like I can't be there on that date, but I do want to learn. And there's a third link that says I want to support the opportunity. Like I want to donate to the nonprofit, which is ADEFUA. I want to donate. So clicking on that link gives you the opportunity to join us on May 3rd to say, hey, I want to be a part of this thing moving forward. Even if I can't be there on May 3rd and I want to give, I want to donate to this nonprofit. So that was a nice, exciting link. Again, the weather's getting great. And you know, it's going to be a relatively short meeting. It's 2 hours, but it's, you know, there's going to be food, there's going to be music, there's going to be connection, there's going to be, you know, an opportunity to not only have a good time, but really see where you can get in, where you can fit in, right? And then get to a point where you can really drive change. Anything else you want to share as the president of the board for ADEFUA? Is there anything else you would want to share with people about the, I guess the why? Like, why do you do it?
Why do I do it? Well, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier in this segment. To me, like, I just remember the first time I saw Afua. She's the founder, creator, executive director of ADEFUA. And this was like, I saw her maybe 15 years ago and she was performing at the Seattle Center. And I just remember thinking, wow, this is cool, right? And it never even crossed my mind. I didn't even think about it anymore, right? But then I saw her at a Seattle park performing with a bunch of kids. And I was like, wait a minute, that looks like the same lady, right? And I didn't think anything about it. We didn't introduce ourselves. And then I saw her again and I was like, we were on a committee together and then we just became friends. And then about 2 years ago, she's like, would you like to join my board as the president? And I said, I sure would. And she asked me why, the same question you just asked me, right? And I said, you know, I have seen you in numerous places before I even knew you. I saw the work that you were doing and the work moved me. Like just recognizing that my culture, my heritage was being represented on stages all over Washington and in parks, and not only on stages, but with young people, right? Young kids as young as 5 years old, right? Like that was powerful for me. And when she asked me, I jumped at the opportunity because I had already like my heart had already connected to her organization.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, you know, so, and I just really believe that like skill set matters, and I wanted to be able to assist in any way that I can, because I really do believe in this organization. And I think there's a reason it's been around for 40 years, and it's because of Afua. And I wanted to give back. I wanted to be able to invest in the legacy of this community because, you know, Seattle's been gentrified. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of us here anymore, you know? And so I wanted to make sure that we stay here, or at least have something that shows that we were here. And we've been here for a long time, you know? So.
That is so beautiful. Y'all, look at the crinkle on her nose when she smiles. I'm saying that because there is such a joy, right, in the energy. Like when I was talking to Afua, she's done a number of different things. She just led what was the thing she did this weekend? It was called the World Rhythm Festival or something like that.
Yeah.
And she gotta be tired. I was like, and I just asked her to do a live show.
Place. She is all over the place.
She is. They were doing the thing. I was like, wow. Yeah. And what you just said is so powerful. You just said our culture is being represented so positively and so well and so consistently.
Yeah. Exactly.
And she's bringing in young people, and she does it at the senior citizen center, you know, like
everywhere.
So everybody gets a piece of the action. And I think, again, the concept of leaning in, isn't it great? So we invite you all to be a part of something that is positive, that is about culture, that is about leadership, that is about leaving a legacy. You know, it is joyful to me. And I've overcommitted. Let me just be clear. I have overcommitted to some nonprofit stuff. Really. I have. When am I going to join? Right now. Are you here? Yes. Join. I didn't even see that she was here. What? Our producer is not. I'm sorry. We're just trying to survive here today. I did not know you were here. to join. No, we didn't. We're just talking about you. How did it feel to have you? Were your ears burning? Did you hear us talking about you?
I loved it.
She said, I loved it. Right. So what would you like to share, my darling? This is we're just excited to be here to support you, Queen Afua. Would you like to share? What would you like to share? We got 5 minutes left. You're probably gonna say 4.5. Sorry, I didn't see you on.
I just really want to be very transparent with how grateful I am, Dr. Traci and Dr. Williams and Tony B, for making this space happen where we could talk about culture, what's in community, because we're all community people. And so on behalf of the message that we're talking about today around really allowing ourselves to invite community and allowing community to come in and be a part of our work, it's time.
Yeah.
We've been present. When you call us to be a part of events, we show up. We've never said no. And so this has been our consistency, and this has been what we stand for. And everything that you have said, Dr. Traci and Carol, I just adored it. I was just sitting here watching. I've been on here for like 25 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
I see 6:45. It says Alpha was ready to join. I didn't see it in the chat. You typed and said, "When am I going to join?" I'm like, "What?" So anyway, we get excited, y'all.
The only thing I like to add, honestly, is that those people in community. You know who you are. You know that we need you to be there with us at this time. When we've always talked about creating space and creating programming and making things affordable, ADEFUA has been there. Whether we're in the parks, we're in a backyard, we have made it possible for us to share what we know. We have not gatekept. Right? We've made it possible around arts and culture and the awareness when we talk about the rites of passage. And you're right, it's a intergenerational experience. Yeah. And we recognize that this is our place in community. And we've done this. The name of the event, just to be clear, is the ADEFUA Board Exploration Opportunity Day.
There you go. Say it again. Say it again. You said time is up, but you're going to say it one more time.
Yes. This Saturday, May 3rd, it's the ADEFUA Board Opportunity Exploration Day. And we're so happy to say that our doors are open. The facility that we've done work in for all these years will be demolished a year from now. So when we have events into this place, into the place, please come. Because we're always arms open, and we really want to see our Native African people. You are here, you're hitting the ground running, you're doing great programming, and we see you. And we also need you to come in and see us too. Our initiatives are open to the general public, but at the same time, we need to recognize that we're creating space for our people that don't have. And if you can advocate for us, help us articulate our wording a lot better so we can get the major deep pockets, we need you to be there with us.
I love it. Y'all, time is up. This was amazing. So much more to come, y'all. Again, ADEFUA's African Culture Arts Center. It's the Opportunity Day, May 3rd, this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Join us at Rainier Arts Center. Talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.